All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're going to explore a hero's journey that doesn't end with saving the world, but with something, well, a lot darker. Using the Gospel of Erasure as our guide, we're going to follow a character's incredible transformation from a savior into a terrifying adversary, basically a prophecy walking around in human form. So, what in the world is an inverted hero's journey? I mean, we all know the classic story, right? The hero rises up, overcomes the odds, saves the day. But what happens when that path leads somewhere else entirely? Not to victory, but to a deliberate, systematic tearing down of everything we thought was important. Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the hero's radical new identity. Then we'll dive deep into the three clashing voices, warring inside his head. We'll see how those voices finally come together to forge a new, chilling purpose. And lastly, we'll get a glimpse of the world he reshapes in his own image. So our story kicks off with this massive change. The character we once knew as the Pale Redeemer, well, he's gone, and standing in his place is the Violet Adversary. Okay, check this out. The contrast here is just wow. The simple, comforting white robes are gone, swapped out for a predatory mantle of purple and gold. The guy who used to represent the world's long tiredness and offer safety, he's now a judge, ready to hand down something called a Gospel of Erasure. It's a complete 180. Yeah, this journey isn't about building things up, it's about tearing them down. The whole point is to stop progress in its tracks, to snuff out the spirit of becoming, and to show that all our grand ambitions were just an illusion from the start. Let's move on to the first of three voices echoing inside the adversary's mind. This is the ghost of his past, the stagnant priest Salvio Polito. He's the voice of the very world he just left behind. Man, that quote just hits you, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the priest's regret. He built what he calls a gilded cage, a world so safe, so comfortable, that it completely suffocated any real growth. He promised freedom from pain, but the cost was burying human potential alive. This priest represents what's called slave morality. I love this other phrase for it, a collective will to nap. It's a mindset that values safety over everything else, trading the painful struggle of creation for the dull comfort of security. It's an insurance policy against ever becoming great. And this is the exact thing the adversary is now rebelling against. Okay, get ready for a total change of pace. The second voice is the Sapphire Jester. He's this ecstatic, chaotic force of pure destruction who is absolutely thrilled to see everything the priest built come crashing down. Chilling, right? The Jester's mission is simple: erase everything. He's not interested in fixing the world. He wants to grind it down to nothing. He sees the adversary as a sculptor in reverse, whose only job is to dismantle the human soul itself. The Jester is all about the logic of zero. He basically argues that any society built on cheap comfort and safety deserves to be destroyed. He doesn't see individuals, he sees looch, spiritual fuel to be shoveled into some horrible machine. It's a joyful, gleeful embrace of total nihilism. And this is a brilliant way to picture the adversary's power through the Jester's eyes. That violet aura isn't just a color, it's a spiritual black hole. It's a terminal gaze that just sucks the essence, the meaning, right out of humanity and turns it all into cold, meaningless data. But hey, not every voice inside him is screaming for destruction. The third reflection, the Seraphim Gargoyle, rises up to fight back against the Jester's nihilism with a seriously powerful counterargument. The gargoyle throws out this powerful warning. You can't create anything truly great from a place of pure destruction. It's a fiery, creative energy, and the price you have to pay for it is way too high for someone on a simple mission of erasure. This is the gargoyle's core belief right here. It's this idea that there's an ember of truth inside every soul, a radiant divine inheritance that can't be put out no matter what. That silence of heaven the Jester is so excited about, the gargoyle says it's not empty at all. It's a roaring fire of potential, just waiting. This slide just lays out the internal war perfectly. On one side, you have the Jester's nihilism, seeing humanity as nothing but fuel for the fire. On the other, you have the gargoyle's vision of a divine spark, ready for recreation. Is the adversary a sculptor in reverse or a frequency of transformation? That is the core conflict. So, high up on the peaks of Gast, an outside observer called the Grimgrash watches this whole internal battle. and delivers a final shattering judgment that brings all these warring voices together. And the first realization is a tough pill to swallow. The adversary's whole predatory mantle of purple and gold getup, it's not a symbol of power. It's a shield, a defense mechanism he's using to hide from the harsh truth. The Grim Gnash gives him a new name, the God of Shavings. This totally reframes his purpose. He's not some mighty judge anymore. He's more like a robotic accountant, meticulously collecting the leftover dust of human dreams and logging them in a giant book of vanity. His whole transformation, in the end, is a Faustian inversion. He made a deal, sure, but it wasn't for power or knowledge. It was a twisted pact with the most stagnant, comfortable part of his own soul, the very slave morality he thought he was escaping. And this is his final form, his accepted purpose. He is the truth that smashes. He's not meant to create or destroy for its own sake. His job is to be the ultimate trial, the final test for any new creative will that's brave enough to try and climb out of the abyss. So, what happens to the world after this journey finally ends? In our last section here, we get to see the universe living under the adversary's new management. The result is pretty grim. Darkness and decay are in charge. The ledger of the Great Evening has officially recorded all of human history as nothing more than glittering vanity. The universe itself just feels heavy, deaf, and done. But in this wasteland, the adversary waits. He has become the final obstacle, the ultimate trial for a new kind of creator, an overman, strong enough to rise from the ashes.
And that leaves us with a really tough question. If true greatness can only be born by facing the hardest possible test, then is the violet adversary, this indispensable shadow, really a villain? Or is he a terrifying but maybe essential part of creation itself? Something to ponder.